but wall of the bronchus has cartilage. Small drops of cartilage, but cartilage is present. In bronchiola, cartilage is absent, and the same in bronchiola terminalis, absent mucous glands, but ciliated epithelium everywhere, here and here, and smooth muscles, the same both in bronchus and in bronchiola. There is no differences. Only it is absent cartilage and absent mucous glands. But if we compare bronchiola terminalis and bronchiola respiratoria, in respiratory bronchioles, muscles are absent. Put here. In respiratory bronchioles, muscles are absent, and absent ciliated epithelium. Ciliated epithelium, heat is present, heat is absent. Which epithelium? Not squamous. One layer of not squamous epithelium. Come here. And where is forceps? Just a minute, I want to do this. That is trachea. It is right main bronchi, it is left. You can see that right is shorter but wider and more vertical position, and left is narrower and longer. If, for example, in childhood, children like to insert small subjects into the nose and inspirate, and if somebody inspirate foreign substance or some subject, small subject, and it is not, it is very frequently it's insert into the larynx, and muscles of larynx constrict and maybe asphyxia. Do you know what is asphyxia? Impossible to breathe in, yes. But if this subject passes through larynx, it continues into trachea, and what is the most frequently direction for this subject? Into right main bronchi, because it is more vertical, like continuation of trachea. And in right main bronchi, then it continues into inferior lobar bronchi. That is, if this subject goes to inferior bronchi, it can pneumonia maybe in this inferior lobe. In this case, you need to insert bronchoscope into the larynx, then into trachea, then into right main bronchi, then continues into inferior segmentary bronchi, and try to find where is this subject in inferior lobar bronchi and remove it from bronchi, because it is dangerous for life. Okay, and now you can see that posterior wall have not got cartilage. Cartilage is absent. That is membranous wall, parias membranacea, because esophagus is posteriorly. In main bronchi, the same absent cartilage, but then in all another in lobar, in segmentary, we can see complete cartilage. It is complete cartilage, cartilaginous ring. It is half moon surface, but in lobar and in segmentary, that is cartilaginous rings, because heat is not a problem. Esophagus heat is absent, yes. Now you can see that right main bronchi subdivides into three lobar, that is superior, middle, and inferior, and heat is to superior and inferior on the left side. What is this lung? That is left lung, because it consists of two lobes, superior and inferior lobe, only two lobes, and one fissure, fissura obliqua, subdivides them. In right lung, we will see additional fissura, fissura horizontalis, it is, and this fissura on the right lung subdivides superior lobe middle, and inferior. On the left lung, 5 segments in superior lobe and 5 segments in inferior. On the right side, 3 segments in superior, 2 segments in middle lobe, and 5 segments in inferior lobe. That is hilum pulmonis. Hilum pulmonis, the same like hilum in spleen, like porta in hepatis. And here it is main structures on the left side. That is pulmonary artery, superior position, that is pulmonary artery, then bronchus principalis, and then 2 veins, vena pulmonalis, one and another, 2 pulmonary veins, artery superiorly, bronchi in middle position, and inferior position 2 veins, A, B, V, V. Cleatis, A, that is what? Artery, B, bronchi, and VV, 2 veins, vena pulmonalis. On the right side, another position, superior position in bronchi, then middle position in artery, and inferior position in veins. BAVV on the right side, ABVV on the left side. Cleatis, that is the differences. What else? Lung has 3 surfaces. This surface which attached to ribs, that is facies castalis. This surface which attached to diaphragm, here it is facies diaphragmatica. And medial surface, facies medialis, which subdivides into mediastinal anteriorly and vertebral posterior part. Cleatis. 2 borders. This border is anterior, margo anterior, and here it is margo inferior. 2 borders, inferior and anterior border. On the left side we have notch. We can see notch, incisura cardiaca, cardiac notch, and should be, it is, I think here, but should be inferiorly, more frequently inferiorly. We can see lingula cardiaca, that is small part of the left lung, which is surround incisura cardiaca, that is lingula cardiaca. Sometimes we can see on the surface of the lung, look here, that is secondary lobules. This dark border of the lobule, that is connective tissue which absorbed dust from air. Cleatis, for example, in time of smoking, and this dust with air goes to lungs and absorbed into connective tissue. That is why connective tissue is, it's look darker than the tissue of lobule. That is why we can see borders between nearest lobules. Here and here and here, all of them are secondary lobules. That is a base of secondary lobule. Apex looks to direction of hilum pulmonis. It has, in average, 1 centimeter in diameter, and it separates with the help of connective tissue from nearest lobules. And into the apex of this lobule insert bronch of which order?
8th order.
8th order. Yes, you're right.
So, what is the anatomical position if you are asked to keep it in that way?
Anatomical position of lung?
Yes.
That is correct position. That is apex. Here it is base. That is anterior border. And that is medial surface, facies medialis. In front, that is mediastinal part. And posteriorly, that is vertebral part. Clear it is?
Yes.
That is correct position of left lung. Well, the same, you need to prepare 3 glands. Here it is absent, should be thyroid gland here. Glandula thyroidea, maybe here. Only this small part, that is thyroid gland. Posteriorly from thyroid gland we have parathyroid gland, which consists of 4 small structures which have 5 millimeters in diameter on posterior surface of thyroid gland, and thymus gland behind of manubrium sterni. What is the function of thyroid gland? Which hormone do you know? It's thyroxine and triiodtyronin. They participate in metabolism, increased level of metabolism in human body. Parad hormone, that is hormone of parathyroid gland, that is regulate level of calcium and level of phosphates in blood. And main function of thymus gland, that is central organ of immune system. Central organ of immune system. Do you know another central organ? What else? No, central. Two central organs. First, that is thymus gland, and another red bone marrow. Yes, red bone marrow. Two central. They produce lymphocytes. And peripheral organs of immune system. You're right. That is spleen. What else? Yes, tonsils and lymphoid follicles. For example, folliculi lymphoidi solitari and aggregati, and lymph nodes. All of them are peripheral organs of immune system. And thymus, it has largest volume in childhood, near 30 grams. That is weight of thymus gland in adults, only 5 grams. That is small organ in adults, because immune system, that is, it's stable in adults, and red bone marrow the same participate in lymphopoiesis, in produce lymphocyte. That is why not necessary to have a large thymus gland in adults, but in childhood it's very, very important. It is one of the main organ of immune system. That is why next time trachea, bronchi, and lungs, and glands, thymus, thyroid, and parathyroid gland. Only you not need to read topography of lungs, topography of pleura, and mediastinum, not necessary. Only trachea, bronchi, lungs, and bronchogenic glands, thyroid, parathyroid, and thymus. Clear? Today that is all.